Good morning, students. In this video, I shall discuss the sexually reproducing organism, how the sex is determined in that particular organism. Now, the determination of sex is one of the important factor for the sexually reproducing organism. Normally, whatever organisms present in the earth, these organisms are of two types. Either they are unisexual, these are unisexual in nature, or they are bisexual in nature. Then the unisexual organisms, normally they are also called the dioecious, and the bisexual organisms, they are also called the monoecious. And in case of monoecious organism, normally both male and female gametes, are present or produced by the same individual. So that is why both male and the female sex organs are present in the same individual. So that is why you can say the testes and ovary both are present in the same individual. So that is why the male gametes as well as the female gametes are produced by the same individual. But sometimes, of course, the self-fertilization does not occur and cross-fertilization may occur, but these organisms are bisexual in nature. But the some organisms, they are unisexual in nature. Unisexual means what? Some organisms are either male organisms or some organisms are either female organisms. So these male organisms, they produce the male gametes, and the female organisms, they produce the female gametes. That is why they produce the female gametes, and these female gametes are normally produced by the female sex organ, and the male gametes are produced by the male sex organ. So that is why these male gametes are normally produced in the testes, and the female gametes are produced in the ovary. So that is why the male and the female sex organs are totally different, and they are present in two different individuals. So that is why the maleness or the male organism and the female organism are different in their external appearance. So that is called sexual dimorphism. Sexual dimorphism is observed in this case. So here the males, you can see the cock and hen. So the characters are totally different from one another. So the maleness and the femaleness due to presence of certain characters in their body. In case of human male and the human female, the characters are totally different from one another. Now, why and how these characters are normally different from one another? So everywhere, whenever we observe that in any organism, the characters which are developed in the body, the characters are developed from the genes, and the genes are normally located inside the chromosome. So that is why the chromosomes are actually responsible for the expression of the character. Suppose here, whatever characters which are present in the organisms, these characters are expressed by the chromosome. Now, these chromosomes which are present in the body of the organisms, they are normally of different types on the basis of their expression of the character. Some chromosomes which are responsible for the expression of all the somatic character except the sexual character. Expression of somatic character, and these somatic characters are nothing but the character except the sexual character. So that is why these characters are normally called the somatic character, and the chromosomes which are responsible for expression of somatic character are called autosomes. These are called autosomes, or these are also sometimes called the somatic chromosomes. These are the somatic chromosomes. In case of human being, there are 22 pairs of autosomes present in human being. There are 22 pairs of chromosomes which are called the autosomes and which are responsible for the development of all the characters except the sexual character. But there are some other chromosomes which are present in the body and they are responsible for the expression of the sexual character. So these are normally responsible for the expression of sexual character in case of male, or in case of female the specific characters are there, and the maleness and the femaleness are due to the expression of each character. And some chromosomes, the chromosomes which are responsible for the expression of these characters or the sexual characters are called the allosomes, or these are also called the sex chromosomes. These are called the sex chromosomes. And in case of human being, the sex chromosome, in case of female, that is XX type, and in case of male, that is XY type. So these XY or XX, these are nothing but the sex chromosomes, and these chromosomes are responsible for the expression of the different characters in the body of the organisms. Now, what is the shape, size, and different functions of these chromosomes? Normally, these chromosomes which are present in the organism, these were first analyzed or discovered by Hanking in 1891, when he observed the Hanking in 1900. Now, Hanking in 1891, when he was studying the chromosomes of insects, and in case of spermatogenesis, in spermatogenesis process, he observed certain X factors were found there in 50% of the male gamete, or 15% of male gamete, or these male gametes are, you can say, the spermatozoa. Now, what are these X factors? These X factors are now actually explained by McClung in 1902, that these X factors are nothing but, these X factors are actually nothing but, these are the chromosomes, and these chromosomes are normally responsible for the determination of the sex. These are responsible for the determination of sex of the individual. That means this X factor is nothing but the chromosome, and it is actually responsible for the determination of the sex of that particular individual. Now, that is why these chromosomes which are responsible for the determination of the sex of the individual, these are called the allosomes or the sex chromosomes. Now, how these allosomes or sex chromosomes are actually responsible for the expression of this sexual character, or it is the sex of the individual, let us discuss it. And they are actually on the basis of their number of, the first one, that is on the basis of number of allosomes. In some cases, the number of allosomes are normally 1 or sometimes 2. So in case of the most common example, that is your grasshopper, And in case of grasshopper, normally the males are of X0 type, the X0 type, and the females are XX type. That means in case of males, normally one chromosome is short here. Normally here one allosome is present, but here two allosomes are. In case of female, two allosomes are there. Two allosomes are there. So that is why whenever the gametes are produced, one is having the X chromosome in one spermatozoa, and here all the egg cells are having the X type of chromosome. Although two are there, but all the eggs are having X chromosome. By the process of meiosis, the gametes are formed, and when one is your O or there is no chromosome and another is having X chromosome, now the offspring, if it is XX type, when this X spermatozoa will fertilize the XX cell, then it will become XX and it is a female one. Then next, when this O or 0 or no chromosome is there, and when it fuses with this particular X cell, then it will become X0 type. Now it will be a male individual. So in this way, the male and the female sex is determined in case of grasshopper. Next, how the autosome or the allosome, whatever the case may be, the chromosomes are there in the body of each and every individual. But the autosomes are actually not responsible for the sex determination, and allosomes are actually responsible for the sex determination. Now next one, the nature of the allosomes. Now the allosomes are sometimes of different types. The most common example, that is your human being. And in case of human being, the chromosomes or the allosomes which are responsible for the sex determination are of different types. So in case of human males, the chromosomes or the allosomes are XY type, and in case of females, the allosomes, the allosomes are XX type. So here, when the gametes which are produced here, these are two types of gametes, that is X and Y type. But in case of female, only X type of gamete will be formed. So it is the spermatozoa, and two type of spermatozoa are produced here, and one type of egg cells are produced. So here what happens, when this X spermatozoa will fertilize the XX cell, then it will be your XX and it will become a female one. It is the female offspring or female organism. Then when this Y sperm will fertilize the X egg, then it will become XY. Now this XY is become a male individual. So it is a male individual and it is a female individual. So in this way, the sex of the child is determined on the basis of the type of chromosome or the nature of allosome which is present in the gamete or the male gamete, and normally in the female gamete the chromosome is same. So that is why the male gamete or the male individual actually responsible for the determination of the sex, whether it is a male one, and the female one, it is determined by both the chromosomes present in the male and the female. And in some individuals, normally the chromosomes which are of different types, that is your Z and ZW type. In case of Z and ZW type, what happens here? Z and ZW type. So the common example, the birds or the hens, normally the males having the homozygous condition, and in case of male, the allosomes are Z and Z type, and in case of female. It is the female bond, and the female bond having heterozygote. So that is why here the two types of gametes are formed. That is here only one type, that is the Z type, will be formed here in case of male, and in case of female, two types of, is it female or heterogametic? Well, that is why two types of gamete Z and W will be formed. And when this Z spermatozoa, because all the spermatozoa are Z type and all the egg cells are not similar, but 50% of the egg will be Z type and another 50% will be W type. So here the offspring will be ZZ, and this ZZ offspring will become a male individual. But when this Z sperm will fertilize the W egg cell, then automatically it will become ZW. Now it is a female one. So in this way, the male and the female individual are produced in this birds, and in case of birds, the females are normally having the different types of allogen, but the males are having the same type of allogen. Now, next one, another type of sex determination which occurs in case of certain insect like your honeybee. And in case of honeybee, this is called haplodiploidy type of sex determination. Then what is this haplodiploidy type of sex determination? Haplodiploidy type of sex determination. Then what is this haplodiploidy type of sex determination? Normally, the males are having haploid one. The males are haploid in nature, and n number of chromosomes are there in case of male, but in case of female, normally here it is observed in case of honeybees. And in honeybees, normally the males are having the haploid set of chromosomes, but here normally the females normally they have the diploid set of chromosomes. Here 2n, or it is called diploid set of chromosomes. So this diploid set of chromosomes are normally observed here in case of female. Now, when the gametes are produced here, the gametes or it is spermatozoa or the sperms are produced here, then all the sperm, suppose it is a sperm, this sperm will contain n number of chromosomes only. Now, when the female gametes, they are produced either it is here one n and another n. So two types of this gamete, this is the egg cell, and this is the egg cell, they contain the haploid number of chromosomes as well. But when this spermatozoa will fertilize the egg cell, then it will become an 2n type and it will develop into a female individual. Now, sometimes what happens, by the process of parthenogenesis, this egg cell, by the process of parthenogenesis, that means by the process that is called the development of the individual without fertilization. Now, when this one will develop into an organism, then it will be an haploid organism, and this haploid organism is nothing but the male individual. But when it is fertilized with another n and n, then it will become 2n, then it is a diploid individual, and the diploid one will be a female individual. So that is why this is the process by which normally the sex of the individuals are normally determined. So this is another method by which the haploid and the diploid individual, they are having the different sexes. So that is why in case of animals or the sexually reproducing animals, normally they are normally determine their sex in this method. So these are the different methods of the sex determination in case of animals. I hope this video is beneficial for you. If it is really beneficial for you, then please like it and subscribe for the further videos. Thank you very much.